Welcome back to Tiakum Show. I want to talk about today about poverty and how people be like, oh, poverty is a mindset. No, poverty is a real thing. I grew up impoverished. And they don't have it now, I don't think. But I grew up, a good part of the cans in my fridge or cans in my cupboard were two colors. Y'all, if y'all come from that certain age, y'all know what I'm talking about. Either they were black and yellow or white and black, and we didn't have pictures on those cans because that's expensive. Why you you know what beans look like? And they didn't have like a name brand. It was just like, it looked like military surplus. And that's what I would get. Or like what they have in like a government stockpile of just, probably not now. Probably a government stockpile would be sponsored. But it was just like tomato soup. It wouldn't say Campbell's. It was just black and white tomato soup. Or yellow and red. The can was yellow and the words were in red. Or in black and it would say tomato soup. And, but the thing about poverty is, it's not a mindset. Working out of it and getting new habits. I know how they can say it is a mindset because once you, depending on how impoverished you were, you could get trapped in thinking you in a save mentality. But I'm talking how they can use poverty and weaponize it, because that's what I feel a lot of things are going on now, is that they're weaponizing poverty. It's easy to say, the reason why you're poor is because that Afghani over there. Or I grew up under the preconception that the reason why Americans couldn't get ahead is because all these immigrants were coming over and starting businesses and doing all this stuff, and they would get it for free, easy. Like, they would be offered loans to start businesses, and they would be offered things, unlike us Americans. And if you have no education, and if you don't look shit up, that's what you believe, because one, you're poor. You don't believe anyone's going to give you anything anyway. Everything you're getting is a handout. And then you get to a certain point where you don't feel like you want the handout. And you kind of have like the black mark on you because everybody knows that you're on assistance, especially when you live in small towns. And they are able to weaponize these small town people. Because if you live in a small town, everybody knows you're going to the food stamp office. Hell, everyone in that small town is probably walking through the food stamp office. Except for the people that work at the food stamp office. And they're the ones that probably gossiping and gipping and gabbing about what's going on with everybody else. You understand what I'm getting at. Poverty is a problem because you can weaponize it and you can make people believe. And poverty is in general. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he's poor, but also, however, they're not only poor, they can't take the time off to go to school or to get educated. The schools they were educated aren't really educating. They're just talking at people or getting you to pass the test. There's so many things that we are failing at. It's crazy because you take money from a community. The community's poor. Why do you all of a sudden, do you think a poor community is going to be able to have a 5A football team and a soccer team and a softball team? No. They only have one sport that they look forward to, and it's probably football because it's probably in the South. People in the South, I grew up in the South. People in the South get used to their conditions. Why complain? Right? Why complain? Because complaining ain't going to do anything. So you get used to living in a lifestyle of suffering. Then I'm backing up. You get used to people who you think who have education. Like, for the longest time, I thought in order to be a senator, you had to be a lawyer. To me, that makes sense. You're making laws, so wouldn't you have to know how to practice the law? No, they're not. Our founding fathers were. So maybe that's where I got under that misconception. Like, duh. But no, you can be a YouTuber. You can be whatever you want. It is a popularity contest. If you are sitting at home watching this video and you have a lot of freaking friends, and your friends have friends, and your friends have friends, and you all meet them and they think that, hey, you're someone great and you have a good message, you can run for politics. It takes zero education. I mean, maybe a high school diploma, a high school diploma. But what are the requirements? An age and a degree? And I think you don't even have to graduate from high school to be the president. I don't believe so. I thought you used to have a law degree or have some practice or what? No. As we know, no. Poverty will make you think that, well, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, so why am I getting into it? The government's not going to help me. I mean, the only thing they're going to do is get in my business. Because at a certain point they do. I'm like dealing with my mom's financial stuff, and they do get in your business. So it's just crazy how people will just say poverty is a mindset, when poverty is the key to so many events that are going on in so many people's lives. And if we were able to educate people with a better education, you can still be poor, but you can be rich in your mind. You can still be poor, but you can know the actual facts and what is actually going on. You don't have to have these people sit here and brainwash you and tell you things such as immigrants get loans so much easier than Americans. And then take that information and then assimilate it to your friends. And your friends regurgitate it back to you because they heard it from somewhere else, knowing that it is not a fact. Small businesses are on the push. So much hard. It's so hard. Yeah, maybe growing up in I grew up in Fort Hood, and there's a huge Asian population. But that's not the reason why they got their loans. That's because they helped each other. They met someone, and they were all interconnected, and they all was able to get money together and to save. It's just a different culture. We Americans have all for one. Yeah, we're all for that one person, but really it's one for all. We're really just for ourselves. We have an I mentality, and when we see someone else moving up, we get pissed off about it. It's very rare you see other people give people flowers for their achievements. And we're in such a society now where everyone wants an award just for participating. So if you were in a community where you was like, oh, you want a loan? Oh, I can help you out, brother, blah, 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 bump you up. We would have those stores. So don't get mad because somebody else is more connected than you. You know what you did? You make space for yourself in that room. And that is easier said than done. And that's another video. So have a great day, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of all over the place. Maybe I start doing clips so y'all can get smaller pieces of me, but all the same goes. Today is Thursday the 9th. Oh my God. It's going to be, before we know it, in 2 weeks from now, it's going to be the end of July. Kids are going to be going back to school. Yay!